Good evening, students. So, welcome to this sessions of data sciences subject. So, last lectures we are discussing about difference between data science and machine learning. So, I think you might have enjoyed and you might have come across different concepts on data sciences and machine learning. Now, today we will discuss about the next part, that is big data, and we can have a different discussions on big data, and we have a different applications to use our data sciences concepts, right? So now one by one we'll go for the concepts of different types of big data concepts, right? So as this particular slide displays velocity, volume, and varieties, these are the three main basic characteristics of big data. So when we are talking about big data, the time students may have some idea, it may have a different kinds of data, like is it a big data with respect to the size or something else. Now, as we know, big data, when we are talking about big data, you have to memorize three concepts, that is velocity, volume, and variety. Velocity, we call it speed. How speed you are accessing, how speed you are storing data when you have a large amount of data or a big data we call, right? So in brief, if you are talking about brief data, I'll explain in this particular session. Just I'll summarize what is big data. You might have come across different types of data in database, right? We have a DBMS, we have a RDBMS, we have a object relational database management system. We have a data warehouse and data mining. This is we called data database evaluations of a database, right? Stage-wise development of a database. Now, in the database, we store data. Normally, what about the different types of OLTP data, online transaction, right? So, transactional data we store. Now, this data with respect to the velocity, with respect to the volume, with respect to the variety, it is compared to big data, it is very less, or it is very slow, or it may have a different type of data which cannot be compared with big data. Now, normally when we are performing any particular database transactions, we have a different kinds of data, right? So when we are transacting with a data with respect to the size, for example, image considered as a size data, if you'll see, it's a huge amount of size we required. For example, video data, video clips, we have a different types of audio clips. So that time we have to store in database, and we have to access or store this type of data. That time there may be chances of getting the speed, less speed you will have. When you are accessing it, it takes more time. With respect to the volume, it may not accommodate in the database. With respect to of variety of data, that means if you will have a last 5 years data of any particular field, so you cannot accommodate data in databases, because there may be chances of a problem of size, problem of accessing speed, problem of the amount of data you are fetching. So to overcome this, all this, we have a concepts of big data. So in big data, we can handle data in a different way, so that the velocity can be preserved, the volume of data can be maintained properly, and different types of data can be arranged systematically in different repository, different storage unit, right? So when we are dealing with big data, the three will have, just a minute, I'll accept. Yes, when we are using big data, that time we have to use different kind of data with respect to different features like velocity. That means speed, how speed we are accessing the data which is a huge size, or data which is different types of data. It's not accepting one type of or a few types of data. You will have a different kinds of data, right? So that time we can access it comfortably. And the volume of data, suppose the size of data, if you want to access from the different databases, okay. So that time the technology which we are using, the techniques, the methods, the different types of procedures we are using for big data, it helps to in this regard: velocity, volume, and variety. So if you will take these three features, then you will find that these are the main important features of big data. So in big data, you have to see the velocity. In big data, you can see the volume of data. And in big data, you can see the variety of different types of data. As I told, you have a data of, suppose audio. It's a different kinds of data type. If you have a video, so you have a different kinds of data, right? So now this is about your variety of data. Volume of data, suppose you have a bulk of data. You have a last 5 years data, last 15 years data. So you will have a volume of data, huge volume of data. Velocity with respect to the accessing speed. How we are storing, how much time it takes to store, and how much time it takes to fetch, right, to bring from the repository. So now this is how we can see in the big data. Now we'll see the next slide. So is big data same as data science? Now as we are going through different concepts of data sciences, right? So now we'll just compare it, and I'll just put into your mind that you just compare and you just find out whether the big data, what about the concept we have a big data, it is the same as data sciences earlier we have done. We have completed the definition. Data sciences is a multidisciplinary area, right? So is it the same as big data? Now this is the questions I'm putting into your mind. Just you think on this, okay? Now we will have on these discussions. Now you can see in this particular slide, you can see big data in the left side circle, and you have a data science. I have put it into separate. Now ultimately you can see, are the big data and the data science are the same thing? Just think on this. You will get this idea. Now here, by observing this picture, so you can say, so some extent it is different. But you just personally, you think the big data one side, another one is data sciences. Are they same? So now do you think that they are same? Now answer you can see here. I won't say so. I won't say this is the same. There may be some difference. So data sciences can be done on small data sets. See, here you have a little bit difference on this. Data sciences can be done. We can implement a data sciences techniques on small data sets, small amount of data, small volume of data, right? But if you'll see, and not everything done using big data world necessarily be called data sciences. Now here the point is, when we are talking about, when we are dealing with big data, and when we are dealing with data sciences techniques, right, there may be little bit different, right? There may be some context, it may differ, the accessing, the processing, then storing mechanism, there may be different. And what sorts of things, different types of things we'll see next slides, will have different kinds of differences of big data and data sciences. See here. Here in this particular slide, you will see, previously you have seen the two circle is separated, big data and data sciences. And the next slide you can see, is big data same as data science? Again the same questions, and we have some similarity over here. Are big data and data sciences are same? That's the same questions I'm talking about, and the different image we have in this left side. Here these two circles overlaps each other. Whereas in previous, we have a separate circle we have. Now, here in this context, we are deciding that big data is a separate, different data analytics, and data sciences is a different area, right? In this particular slides. So in this particular slides, you will see to some extent we are overlapping something, features of overlapping features you will have. Okay, so what is the answer of this? I won't say so. That means the same thing. We are saying that it is not same, but some extent you will find this is some extent, some context, it overlaps something. So now data sciences cannot be the same sentence previously you will have. Data science can be done on small data sets, and not everything done using big data world necessarily be called data sciences. We cannot say that what about the big data, we are doing something, okay, it is called data sciences. But data sciences, but there certainly is substantial overlap. There is some concepts we have both in data sciences and in both big data, we use that. But there is not completely same at these big data and the data sciences, right? So data sciences, any data can be taken. But in big data, we have to consider only with respect to the velocity, with respect to the volume, with respect to the what you call different types of data, right? So we are talking about in big data. But in data sciences, we can take any type of data. It may take a small data. Okay, so in big data, we cannot consider that type of data. Clear or not? So now this is how the two discussions we have with respect to the similarity, with respect to the few concepts which is similar in nature in both big data and data sciences. We'll see what type of concepts we have overlap. If we'll go through in details about big data, in details about data sciences, then you will come to, you can collect the common features and you can collect some distinct features of these two areas, data sciences and big data areas. Clear? So next slides we'll have. This is the discussions as per your syllabus we have. Now come to this discussions we'll have. Here you will have the discussions data mining, right? So data mining, it's a part of your data analytics. So sometimes we will go for data mining when we are talking about data warehouse, and when we have a data warehouse to store data. So that time we have a concept of data mining, right? So now imagine, I'm not talking about, I didn't have any that particular slides that is architect of a data warehouse, right? 3-tier architect, right? So now consider, imagine you have a left side, you have OLTP labels. That means that is your what we call operational label, transaction processing label. You have a data. So different data types we have, different data types, and the normal databases we have or normal data sets we have. We are extracting through ETL tools, extract, transfer, load. This is ETL tools. Through ETL tools, we can extract the data from OLTP label to the data warehouse. Now we can store data in data warehouse. So now what about the limitations of database? It can be overcome through data warehouse, right? So now we have a data in data warehouse as a dimensional form, different dimensional form, right? So here the data can be moved again to the data mining part. So we have a two server in data warehouse architecture we have seen. One is OLTP server, another one is you have a OLAP server. OLTP, online transaction processing, then OLAP, online analytical processing. So now OLAP server deals with all data mining concepts. Now in data mining concept, as many definitions we have, in this particular slides you can see what is data mining. Extractions, that means data extractions will have extractions of implicit, previously unknown and potentially useful information from data. Now data which is already stored in the data warehouse. We can extract the data implicitly, and sometimes we don't know what about the data we have stored, unknown data previously we have, or sometimes you will have very important data, potential data, which can be taken for mining purposes, right? This is definitions. So the second, explorations, discover, and analysis. We have to analyze the data by automatic. We can use automatic system or semi-automatic. Sometimes some features or some analysis may be manual, or some analysis will be based on some automatic systems. So it may be fully automatic or semi-automatic, means of large quantities of data in order to discover a meaningful pattern. What is pattern here? You have to find out a consequences. You have to find out a pattern which can be used, for different consequences situations. Now, for example, I can use the same pattern if I have a similar types of diseases, right? Now, for example, I found a set of medicines I can take if this type of symptoms, if I detect in a particular, or if we'll find the diseases like this similarity types of diseases or symptoms of a patient, we can apply the similar type of medicines. Or doctors, physicians used to advise to take the medicine, similar types of medicine. Now, here the symptom one is symptom. If you have a similar kind of symptom, then you can use the pattern. What about the patterns? What about the medicines you have previously you have used for that purposes? The same consequences, if you are finding, you can apply the same. So this is how pattern helps you. Now, other examples we can take. For example, you have a particular situation. So when suppose you can say today will be rain. Now, how can you come? How can you take decisions? Today will be going to be rain. So now here the point is you have to find out some patterns here. If the climate is cloud, so climate is cloudy, then it's a symptoms for, it's a particular features for get happened. There may be chances of getting rain. Now, if you have a humidity level, you can find out. If you have a cold wind symptoms, if you have in atmosphere, you found cold wind. Okay. So if you have set a parameters, if you have set some features, that if this features comes or occurrence of features, then you can have different of situations. Accordingly, you can predict the different types of effects of that. Suppose if there will be a rain, or if there will be a particular situations happens, you can see by observing that patterns. So pattern is very important when we are talking about mining, right? You can see in this particular slides, you can see here, as I told, data we are extracting by selecting what about the different data you need. So you can extract from, now as I told, from OLTP level, from the database level, by using ETL tools. We have ETL tools like we use Informatica, one software tools, we call it ETL tools, Informatica, right? So these tools can be used for extracting data from operational level, right? And it can store in a area where temporarily it can store, that we call staging area, right? That staging area can be used for temporary purposes to hold data for a particular period of time. That means for suppose daily we can collect data and store in the stag area, and monthly we can take by using the ETL tools. We can take from the stag area. From the stag area, we can take the data, we can fetch the data, and we can load into the warehouse. So here the point is we have to select the data and we have to fetch and load in the warehouse. Now, sometimes what happened when we are loading data, that time unnecessarily data may become, or which data is not required for our target analysis, so that data may be fetched, right? So we have some kind of target data which is useful, and sometimes we will have unnecessary data we have already used. So we have a technique, we have a particular process that is called pre-processing. Through pre-processing, we can rectify data. If sometimes corrupt data may have fetched or corrupt data we have taken into our analysis part, so that time that corrupt data may gives you different kind of result. So we have to eradicate, we have to remove the data, right, by through pre-processing. We have a pre-processing, different pre-processing techniques like data cleaning, data cleansing, right? So we have different kinds of erroneous data. So we have to rectify the data through pre-processing. So you have to go through the different kinds of pre-processing techniques. So pre-processing is very important when we are extracting data and loading into a particular repository or warehouse for mining purposes. Because if you will have corrupt data in mining, that time your patterns will be in a different types of pattern, which intended pattern may not get because of corrupt data, because of void data, because of your missing data. So missing data, void data, corrupt data, right? All this data can be rectified from the stage of pre-processing, right? So that is your pre-processing stage, you can see. So after pre-processing, we can store data and we can transfer that data into our mining stage. That means we can take into our OLAP server, online analytical processing. So now data transformation, that means whatever the data we have collected from the operational level that can be processed or pre-processed to rectify, and we can transform a different kind of data into our OLAP server or mining section. So once rectified data or transformed data, it can be used for designing the patterns. Now, what is the pattern here? We have to see the consequences. You have to see the occurrence. If something this way, if you are collecting, for example, as I told at the beginning, what is pattern? So now we have to predict, because based on the patterns, we can predict accurately, we can forecast accurately. So now weather forecasting, because of patterns, we can take the decisions. Whether it is going to be rain or not, through pattern matching you can find out. So sometimes you will have automatically or semi-automatic process to design the patterns or matching the patterns. So once you have a pattern, so next stage you will have interpretations or evaluations of patterns, and we can ultimately discover different types of knowledge. So now once if I'll have a different kinds of patterns based on pattern analysis, based on pattern matching, we can predict some knowledge. We can finalize or interpret some knowledge, and we can store in the database. That is called knowledge discovery, or we call it KDD short. So you can see here, draws the ideas from machine learning, that is machine learning already we have done at the earlier, and AI, artificial intelligence, patterns recognitions, statistics, and database systems. So that is mining techniques we can apply on this area. Traditional techniques may be unsuitable due to traditional techniques we have, because these are the sophisticated techniques for data mining. What are the sophisticated technique? Machine learning, that means we have already covered supervised learning, unsupervised learning, right? So reinforcement, right? So these are the different kind of learning, machine learning process we have, techniques we have. Similarly, we have artificial intelligence, right? Robotics, artificial intelligence techniques we have, a different process we can use for data mining. We have a pattern matching, pattern recognition. So now that can be used for data mining. We have a statistical analysis, we can go for mining techniques. We have a different kinds of database processing systems, so we can use for data mining, right? So data mining can be done through, these are the sophisticated techniques we have: statistics, AI, machine learning, pattern recognition. So these are the outputs comes as a data mining. We can do that. But if you use traditional technique, so that means if you use manual techniques, there may be chances of getting wrong things. We cannot mine properly. We cannot analyze properly. We cannot have a proper design pattern, right? So enormity of data, that means you may not have a good scale of or effective scale of data. High dimensionality of data, right? Heterogeneous of data, distributed natures of data. So these are the problem in your traditional approach. Whereas in machine learning, AI, pattern recognition, statistical analysis, and database processing systems, you have overcome these problems. What about the problems arises in traditional approach? So mining techniques can be used for predicting the pattern or predicting the knowledge, right? Interpreting the knowledge, and that knowledge can be saved in the database. We call it knowledge database discovery. So that is the about what I am talking about. That is mining, that is KDD process, knowledge discovery, right? So now what is knowledge discovery? Now we have the last stage. You can see here in this is the last stage, that is knowledge, from the data to the last stage, that is your knowledge discovery, right? So now these are the different stages we have to come across when we are going for knowledge representing or representing the knowledge. So in this particular stage, you can see the same thing, and you have a different kind of a processing over here to get the knowledge. Now, these are the databases we have, OLTP, right? So now from OLTP, we can data collect, we can collect the data. As I told, we can fetch the data from OLTP level to data warehouse, that is through your ETL tool, ETL, extract, transfer, load. So now we have a software like Informatica is used for ETL purposes, right? So now ETL tools can be used for extracting data, and while we are extracting data, there may be chances of various data may come along with our target data. So we have a pre-processing, okay, that is called data cleaning process. It's a type of pre-processing. Now sometimes we have to integrate data from different parts of databases or different repository. We can collect data and we can merge it, integrate it, or sometimes we can have integration process. So now integration means from different OLTPs we can integrate the data at a data warehouse. And in data warehouse, one format we use, that is dimensional format. We have different kinds of data with respect to the dimension format, right? Multi-dimensional format. So what is multi-dimensional format? So multi-dimensional means when we are using in database, we can use two matrix format like rows and columns we have. But if you are going for data warehouse, that time we can use multi-dimensional approaches. Multi-dimensional approaches like a cube format, right? So now data may be stored in the multi-dimensional approaches. So this is how the data can be fetched from OLTP database level to data warehouse. This is the part. Next, you will have from data warehouse to the relevant data, because we are sending data to the mining, and ultimately we have to design a pattern and we have to reach or interpret the knowledge. That is our target. So now we have to have some selection process. In selection process, because we have to design a pattern or we have to predict a knowledge, so we have to select, or selecting data also is important. Relevant data also important. Mining the data is very essential when we are going for designing a pattern. And once we have designed the pattern, so we can easily move to the knowledge. So this is the hierarchy. You can see the process of KDD, knowledge data discovery, right? So now data mining, you can see here in this side. So data mining, that is DM, is the core of KDD. So knowledge discovery in database, right? The process involving inferring the infer. So we have to conclude. So infer or informing the algorithms that explores the data, develop the model, and discover the previous unknown patterns. So what are the different steps we have for KDD? That is, you can see these are the process you have, KDD process. What are this process? Learning the applications domain. First, you have to find out which domain you are working and what is the use of this domain. So a specific area, domain, specific area, and what are the different applications of that. For example, I am using a pattern. I am discovering a knowledge with respect to the education system. And which education I have to find out in the domain. Suppose professional courses or something Indian university or central universities or IITs. I have to find out a particular area, domain, where I can work on knowledge representations, right? So first you have to decide learning the applications domain relevant to prior knowledge and goals of applications. You have to set it. Creating a target data set for data selection process we have. So creating a target data, already we have discussed about in machine learning, we have a target data. That means we have a supervised learning, we have unsupervised learning. So supervised learning gives you a data which is already, we call it targeted data through some techniques, through some scientific techniques, scientific methods, we can make targeted data. So here the data selections part comes or the selection process we comes. So to you use any particular scientific methods to get a exact data selections, right? So then again you will have a next process on KDD. These are the hierarchy manner you will have. Data cleaning process. Sometimes by selecting data also, sometimes you will have unnecessarily data you can collect, or sometimes you will have a corrupt data, sometimes you will have a missing data also. So that time data cleaning process, or we call it pre-processing, that time we can have eradications of unnecessary data, eradications of void data, eradication or removing of your corrupt data or missing data. That must be done before your data analytics or data analysis process, because you have to rectify, you have to see always whatever the input data, it must be correct, accurate as per the target, right? So now next is data reductions and transformation. Next process we have for KDD is data reductions and transformation. So what is reduction data? So sometimes we have to reduce the data. Unnecessary data cannot be possible. Suppose if I'm taking a, for example, you can take I'm deciding the policy, the financial policy. Suppose LIC policies, life insurance, right? Policies, which is the best policies is applied to the senior citizen out of all the policies, right? I'm talking about senior citizen. Here the part is data reductions part. We cannot take less than the age of 60. If you are taking 40 to 50 age of people, they are not considered as a senior citizen. So why will take this data unnecessarily? So here, out of complete data, we can eradicate whatever the data that with respect to the age we can reduce. That means less than 60 age, we can immediately reduce the data, and we will just take more than the age of 60, because the analysis based on here senior citizen, and we have to analyze the policies here which is best policies can be applied to the senior citizen only. Now this is an I'm just giving an example instance scenario there now. So now this particular scenario will help you to reduce what about the data. So sometimes you may have a 40 to 50 years data. It's important, but for this particular domain, for this particular discussion, for this particular what you call analysis, we need not require the data which is less than 60 age. Got my point? So this is how the data reductions process we can put. Data transformation, what? We have to rectify the data. We have to transform. We have to change a label of data from another label. That means after rectifying, after eradicating all unnecessary data, after cleaning data, after what you call rectifying data, missing data, then we can transform the data into a different label, which is very pure data, right? So find useful features, dimensionality, variable reductions, irrelevant data representation. So now these are the things under your data reductions and data transformations. Now next is choosing the functions of data mining. Now we have different kinds of data mining techniques, right? We have different kinds of data mining techniques like summarization, classification, regressions, associations, clustering. These are the different kinds of functions we have. So which is the best for your analysis, you have to choose. We have a n number of data mining functions. So we can use out of which. Sometimes we can have multiple functions also, or sometimes we can have one functions we can use for that. So depends on your requirements, depends on your how you are analyzing and which type of data you are analyzing. You can use different kind of techniques here, functions here of data mining. Next, choose the mining algorithms. You have a different kinds of mining algorithms. You can take different types of algorithms we can have. Data missing. So we can see when we are going for designing the patterns, right? So pattern evaluation, pattern designing also a part of before discovering the knowledge. So pattern designing, we have again you have a n number of processes, you have a n number of stages for pattern designing. So we have to find out the different types of patterns and we have to evaluate it. You have to find out which pattern is the best pattern, can be suited for which purposes or which type of analysis, right? So now pattern evaluations, pattern designing also, it's a very important part, stages of KDD, right? And finally, we can go for pattern evaluations means we can have a visualization, we have a transformation, we have a removing the redundant patterns also, right? So these are the part of your evaluations of patterns. So now after this process, we can reach to the stage of knowledge discovery. So once you will have all these stages you have completed successfully, then you will be in the knowledge stage. This is the last stage you have, right? So you can discover some knowledge. So these are the process of your data mining process with respect to the KDD, knowledge discovery, right? I think this is clear. Now we'll go for next slide. That is data science versus data mining. As per your syllabus is concerned, it is designed like this. That's why I have given the comparison between data science and data mining. You can see here the distinctions. These slides you can see completely the distinctions between data science and data mining. Previously we have seen data sciences with respect to the machine learning difference. Okay, so now data science and the data mining we will see. Data science is an area, okay, where we can do some data sciences techniques. So data mining is a technique only. Data mining is a technique. This is an area. So this is the difference. So area means it's a multidisciplinary area. So many things will be there, right? And here only techniques we can use for mining purposes. Techniques. It is about collections or processings, analyzing, utilizing of data into various operations. It is more conceptual. Whereas data mining, it is about extracting the vital and valuable informations from the data. So vital, very important, okay, main, and extracting, that is we have to find out something, right? Extracting the valuable information from the data. Now, for example, if I'll say, take an example, you can better understand how we do mining something. Sometimes we can go for mining, right? So now out of all the values, we can get or predict something, or we can extract something. Now, for example, if I'll say the best students in the Bharati Vidyapeeth University, best students, how to extract best student. You have some parameters, you have some criteria to decide this. You have to put in that, you have to put some values on that. If it qualifies, then we can say this particular students is the best students in this particular test. So now this is how we can extract data, or we can extract some knowledge, valuable knowledge out of huge amount of data. Third point, data sciences is a field of study, just like the computer science, applied statistics, or applied mathematics. It's a particular area we are talking about. It is a technique that is in data mining. It is a technique which is a part of knowledge discovery in database process. Right? This is a technique for data, or we can predict some knowledge, or we can discover some knowledge by using data mining techniques. The data sciences, the goal is to build a data dominant products for a venture, right? So dominant products for venture, the main goal of this. The goal is to build a data dominant product for a venture. Whereas the goal is to make, in data mining, goal is to make data more vital and suitable or useful, that is by extracting by important information. Same thing. So here, whatever the data sciences techniques, or whatever the areas we have to find out different types of data, the main target is to build data dominant. So we have to see the different kinds of business, we have to see different kinds of products. Okay, so related to the products, we have to see the data which is dominant, or the data related to that particular product and services. But here we are extracting something new things out of existing things. Clear? So now it deals with, that is in data sciences, it deals with all types of data, that is structured, unstructured, semi-structured. Already we have seen in data sciences, right? So it can take any type of data. Structured data, that is called supervised data, unsupervised data, reinforcement, right? Whatever may be. So structured, unstructured, semi-structured, any type of data can be taken in data sciences, or when we are going for data science, right? But when we are talking about data mining, it mainly deals with the structured form of data. It cannot take unstructured data. So when we are going for different types of pre-processing, different types of what you call rectifications of data, reductions of data, that time data can be only the structured form data, which can be used for designing patterns, and simultaneously we can discover some knowledge, right? The sixth one in data sciences, it is a superset of data mining, superset of data mining. So it is quite more than the area you can see more, right? So it is a superset of data mining, as data sciences consist of data scraping, cleaning, visualization, statistics, and many more techniques. So data sciences is a broad sense, and data mining is a particular specific sense. It is a subset of data sciences as mining activities, which is in pipeline of data sciences. So mining techniques can be used in data sciences. That means data mining is a part of data sciences. So data sciences is a broad aspect. It's a superset, where data mining is a subset of data sciences. That is, you can visualize the what you call size, right? Area, or it is scope. So data mining, very limited scope, and data sciences, it's a broader aspects, or a huge scope you have. So data mining can be used in data sciences also. It is mainly used for scientific purposes, that is data sciences, but it is mainly used for business purposes, data mining. So when we are talking about mining, because every companies, every business people, they use mining techniques, predicting patterns, okay, forecasting something, to take effective decisions. So mining techniques is used for business purposes. But when we are talking about data sciences, mainly scientific purposes we use this, right? It is broadly focuses on the science of data. It is broadly focuses on science of data. It is more involved, that is in mining, it is more involved with processes, because this is techniques. We have different types of techniques in mining. So it is focuses on different types of techniques or processes. But whereas you will see in data science, it is specifically it focuses on the science of data, right? How we can scientifically we can use the data, right? So this is how the main distinguish between data science and data mining. So out of this overall discussion, you can conclude that so data science is a superset and data mining is a subset. So data mining can be used in data sciences. So we have a n number of techniques, scientific techniques in data sciences, out of which one is data mining. You can conclude in this way. I think this is clear. This particular slides, it is clear. Now we'll go for next part of your discussion. You can see here that is also one part, data sciences process kya hai. So now we have seen in data mining processes. Now we can see here in this slide, we can see data science processes. What are the different stages we have for data sciences, right? Data science processes. You can see very carefully, you can see the arrow mark which is given from whom to whom. Okay, which process to which process you can see here. Now this is reality, this is your real world. Okay, so now you have a different kinds of data. You can take data product regarding the different types of products data. So now we have different kinds of data, communicate, visualize reports. We have different. So we are collecting these reports and data, and we can make a model and algorithm. So by model means, suppose you can see here framework. You can create a framework, or you can set a algorithm. You can set a algorithm. Algorithm means stage wise process you will have, right? Suppose just normally we take it for when we are talking about algorithm, we call it how to prepare a cup of tea. So you have a stage, you have a different step you have. So now either you can create by taking all the data, or you whatever the reports you have, right? So whatever the reports or final data you have regarding a product or services, you can take and you can frame into a model or algorithm. Now once this particular process is completed, right? So now you can have, see here, raw data collected we have. Then you have data is processed. Now you can see raw data. From the real world, you can have raw data. So in the world or in the external environment, you can collect different types of data. Okay, raw data, which is not processed data, right? So raw data you can collect. So by collecting this raw data, you can make a process of cleaning data, rectifying data, that we call processed data. Data is processed here. So data sciences process, you can see from the real world, we are collecting raw data. By taking raw data, we can make some processed data, which can be used for analysis, data analysis, right? So sometimes we can have a process of processed data, and we have a cleaning data, right? So data cleaning, data clean or data set, we have to make it. So data cleaning already we have seen in the KDD process, knowledge discovery process. We have one process of pre-processing in that particular stages. Here also we have similar type of process, that is clean data. So clean data also can be a part of your data analysis. So you can directly process data you can take from this, or you can after you can have another extension of process, that is you can clean also, you can put in this. So now by this you can frame a model. See here, after this from the real world we are getting different types of data, process data, cleaning data. Okay, we can take both cleaning and process data into our data analysis. Now after data analysis we can create a model, we can create a algorithm, right, which can be used for decisions making, which can be used for our product and services. So this is how again this product can be moved to the real world. Now this is how a process of cyclic you can see data sciences. So here data we collect, then we have a process, then we have a cleaning process, then we have a data analysis. we can create some models and algorithms that can be used for reporting, that can be used for data product, and which can be duly sent to the real world or society. So here also, when we are preparing report, sometimes a decision maker can use these reports to get a better what you call decisions. Now you might have seen different DSS level, decision support system level. They used to collect different types of reports from the lowest level, MIS level, management information system, right? So the managers or the directors or the whatever the in charge, they used to give different types of annual reports, and which can be used by the decision top level management. They can take this and they can take a proper decision. This is how this process happens here. So data sciences process also helps the company, also helps the enterprise, also helps the organizations in this particular way, right? So you can see here, this is also one diagram, which is scripts, we call it CRISP, data mining, cross industry standard process for data mining. Now this is a diagram represents the scripts DM, right? So how data mining here happens, this is a complete, we can see. Now here we have a data, real world data, right? So business, first you see the business understanding. So your domain area you have to see. Then you have to understand different types of data which is related to this business. Okay. Again, you can data pre-processing you have, data preparations you have. Then you have a modeling. That means you can create a frame or algorithms you can set. Then you evaluate it. Evaluations, you have to check it as per your business. You can check it. So after creating this frame, after creating this algorithm, after creating this model, you have to apply, you have to cross check whether this can be used for our business. That's why this arrow mark is there, right? So now after these evaluations, you can deploy, you can use it, you can implement it. So this is how the mining process we go for industry standard. So that's particular diagram. It's sent by, or it is developed by cross industry standard process for mining. So now you can see here. Here also we have some extent the process, and we are doing for our data product, and we can send to the real world. Similarly, here also we are doing something. We are preparing the model. Here also we are preparing the model, and which can be used for the decisions, which can be used for decision makers, right? We can clearly represent a report of that. Similarly, you can create also and evaluate also according to your business. If it suits, then you can use it. Normally, in when we are designing a software product, that time we see this way we can go for, right? So this is how the mining process here. Here you can see data science process normally what happens. So here you can find out, this is typically mining is a technique, and here the data sciences is an area. So this is how this particular data science and data mining we can distinguish, right, different way. So now next is the last part of this particular unit, introduction to Weka. So we'll have discussions of Weka. So now Weka, as you know, this is an open source software provided by the University of Waikato, right? You can see here Waikato University, that is in the New Zealand. Okay. So now they have developed one open software which can be used, okay, without any restrictions. You can use it, you can download it. It is an open source software, right? This tool can be used for your data analysis, right? You can do better analytical processing here. So now Weka, as I told, it's an open source developed by the University of Waikato, right? That is in New Zealand, right? So for data processing, so we are using Weka for data processing, implementations of several machine learning algorithms. So we have different kinds of machine learning algorithms we can implement here, and visualizations tools. so that we can develop machine learning techniques. So we have different kinds of visualization tools also we have. So now by using these particular tools, we can use different types of data processing. We have a different kinds of machine learning processes. Okay, so with this, today I'm going to stop these sessions. Next time we'll go for more details about VECA tools. Dear students, I think you can enjoy this session, and if you have doubts, you can do your clear your doubts in the discussions forums, and we can have a good discussion on that. So whatever the doubts you have, you can clear on that forum, right? Thank you a lot.